really pleased how we finished our season yesterday with the Mountain West Championship here. Since day one, that's been our #1 goal. And to play it here in front of the Red Wave was really huge. They were a big factor in the game yesterday. Our team clearly had a ton of energy from them, and really glad that they were out there in full force despite of the weather conditions and the fact that we lost the week before. So I can't thank them enough, and hopefully a bunch of them will decide to come down to Las Vegas. We're really excited about the opportunity to not just play a Pac-12 opponent, but to play USC, to me the premier program in that league. Obviously it's storied history, tremendous athletes, tremendous coaches. It's going to be a great challenge. We have some history with them, and we're looking forward to a great battle with a really fine USC team. So with that, any questions?
Is this the best possible alternative to not playing in the BCS, considering the opponent, your fans can travel? It's Las Vegas. Is this probably the next best thing to a BCS?
I would think so, because I think you know, our fan base does a great job of traveling, and having it where it's a driving range or a short flight is really going to help. You know, to get a chance to play USC at any point, and I know we're going to play them again next year, but to play them at any point is a great opportunity for our guys. We'd love to be matched up against the top teams in the country, and clearly their history's demonstrated that they are. So we know our hands are going to be full. We got to get healthy from yesterday, and you know, take a couple days off here while our coaches go recruiting. But at the end of this week, we'll have to jump on USC because it's going to be here a week from Saturday, so it's just like a bye week.
What was your first impression when you had it confirmed that you were playing USC? What was your first thought at the news?
I was psyched. Yeah, as a competitor, you love to play against the best. You know, I grew up in Southern California. I was mad they never offered me a scholarship, you know, but I really, you know, am thrilled about the opportunity and excited to see what our guys will do against a really storied program.
What do you know about USC from you know, all the tape this year and from the headlines and whatnot? What are your impressions of USC coming in?
Well, we've seen it on a couple of crossover games. I watched them before our Hawaii game. It was one of the games we had studied. Clearly, they've got tremendous athletes all over the field. You're going to have that at one of the premier programs in the country. You know, I think the second half of the season, I caught one of the SC UCLA game and caught part of the Stanford game. They've really come on as the season went along. Really impressed with what Coach Orgeron did with them. I know he's not there anymore, but clearly there's a very capable team of you know, playing with anybody. When you know, they got after Stanford, which at the time was, what were they, 5 or 6 in the country. You know, our hands are going to be full.
Coach, you mentioned, and half jokingly, I guess, about Matt, they never offered you a scholarship. Do you think that comes into play?
I was serious. They didn't offer me a scholarship, and does that come into play
with some of the guys on this team?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've got guys that feel that they could have played in the Pac-12, not necessarily you know, at USC. I think our history's shown that we've got guys that are very capable of that. Maybe they didn't have their opportunity coming out of high school, and our guys have a little chip on the shoulder because of it. And I think that's why we play, you know, BCS opponents the way we do. Our guys want to show them that maybe they missed something.
What were your players' initial reaction to this?
They're excited, really excited. Again, as a competitor, you want to play against the best, and you know, we relish the opportunities to play against BCS conferences and to, you know, play one with this kind of a storied history that USC has. It's going to be huge. My parents have a bunch of friends that are USC fans and alums, so you know, it might be a little rough around the holidays, but other than that, it'll be fun. Yeah, we played Notre Dame when I was at the Air Force Academy, and the priest didn't like me back then either, so I'll be able to handle it.
Were you a Trojan fan growing up?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever play or coach against the Trojans before?
No, I didn't personally play or coach against them, so this will be my first time having something like that happen. But I grew up watching Pat Hayden throw balls to J.K. McKay and Anthony Davis return touchdowns to beat Notre Dame. So I was one of those Catholic kids that was rooting for SC the whole time, but half the class was rooting for Notre Dame.
The idea that, you know, when you guys were chasing the BCS, that was probably going to be in a lot of these bowls or January 1st type games. What's the pros and cons of playing so early on December 21st?
Well, you know, the pros of it is, you know, we're just less than 2 weeks out, so it's like a bye week. You can tend to stay in a little bit more rhythm. The tougher part is, we've got finals next week, so trying to balance guys having to reschedule some finals, take them early to get them out of the way so we don't have to take them down in Las Vegas. Those things, those gymnastics are always a little bit difficult, but other teams navigate it, and we'll navigate it, and we'll be fine.
Coach, a little sidebar of this game is there's 2 starting quarterbacks out of Bakersfield, California, and when you came in here, one of the first things you wanted to do was keep recruiting the Central Valley hard. Talk about the fact that 2 Bakersfield kids are going to be starting quarterbacks for this, for this bowl game.
Well, I think it clearly demonstrates that there are really good football players here in the Valley. When we consider the Valley from down to Bakersfield all the way up through Sacramento, the 99 corridor, and that's where we start our recruiting. And we know we're not going to get them all, but we're going to take our shots. And guys that want to, come do it the Bulldog way, we're welcome all those guys from the Valley. They're tough, hard-nosed, good student athletes.
Coach, you served as an interim coach in a bowl game. Any thoughts about being on the other side of that with what USC is going through?
It's difficult. I feel for Coach Helton because there's always that instability of not knowing the future, and you've got coaching staff, coaches there that are trying to make plans for their future. So it makes for a difficult situation. But they've got some really outstanding coaches there. They've played really well down the stretch. We anticipate it being a great battle. We're going to have our hands full.